What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Be Wise podcast. I'm your host, Chris Wright, where we talk about politics, entertainment, sports, and social media. As you can see, I'm not in my studio, hence the background. Wanted to give y'all something pretty to look at. I'm not ashamed of the technology. And the reason I wanted to jump on today, because I'm driving in my car and I got all these thoughts going through my mind. And even though I couldn't get to my studio, I thought, I got to put something on wax. So here we are. But needless to say, my last episode, I talked about the whole Caitlin Clark, thing with the being woke, coming out, pandering, apologizing for her whiteness, talking about her privilege. And I don't know whether it was her being woke or her pandering or her just being straight legit. I think it was pandering, but that's just me. But I was thinking about it over and over in my head. And what I knew would happen is I knew other pundits would come out because so many people came out against her after that whole episode. And I knew that there would be a group of people that would come out after in support of her. Those who didn't fully support her in the past, mostly Black content creators who were like, Cheryl Swoops was right, or Lisa Leslie was right, or Dejanay Carrington was right. And now all those people are going to come out and go, that's pretty big of her. And Ryan Clark on the Pivot podcast even came out to say, for her to have this outlook is beyond her years. How proud of her he is that she acknowledged her privilege, how I don't know. It's just a whole bunch of garbage. And he's pandering as well. Because everything has to be about race and privilege. I don't know. But I got a couple of questions about this. My first question, and by the way, I'm just running on, guys, today because I got all these thoughts and I just want to get them out. But my first thought about that is, if she does have white privilege, so what? So what? What do you mean, so what? I mean, so what? What does that do to the league that's already flailing, that's already not making any money, that's $40 million in debt? She's talking about this league was built on the backs of Black women. Built, how was it built? It's not even a finished product yet. What does her white privilege or lack of white privilege do to the league, good or bad? And how does that help the other players in the league? I just don't know why even talking about it makes any sense. And for Caitlin, I don't even understand why you needed to make it an issue. I don't know whether you want friends in the W. I don't know if you want people to stop picking on you. So you figure I'm going to just come out and pander. None of it is progressive. None of it makes any sense. Caitlin, just keep playing basketball. I said that back in June. Just play basketball. Don't fall into the trap. Don't mind all the noise. Just do what you do. You did not need to come out and make a statement. But besides that, for all those Black people and those content creators who are now going to come out and say, yeah, that's pretty big of her and she's beyond her years. And it's great for her to acknowledge her privilege. It does nobody any good. My next point about that is, where's the privilege? She's not the first white basketball player in the WNBA. And she's not the first white WNBA player that was good. I never have been a WNBA fan until Caitlin Clark, and I'm fully admitting that. But I did like certain players because I watched women's college basketball. And then if they got into the WNBA, I watched casually some games here and there, if I could even find one on a particular network. But my favorite WNBA player was Tisha Penicheiro. Why? Because I like point guards. Big Allen Iverson fan, big Stephon Marbury fan, huge Steve Nash fan. White, what's that guy? White Chocolate, Jason Williams. I love people who pass the ball. I love people who give assists. I like short players because I'm short. I'm only 5'7", right? So I've always liked players who were 6 feet or under who came in the league and made an impact. All right. So Tisha Pinachero, loved her. Diana Taurasi could shoot the ball and pass, loved her. Sue Bird came out of UConn, loved her. All three players that I just mentioned were white players. And I liked them better than I liked the black players. Why? Not because they were black or white. It was because they were small and they were point guards and they passed the ball. Most of the black girls that we talked about were Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, even today, Asia Wilson. I'm not fans of theirs because I don't like the positions they play. Or I shouldn't say don't like the positions, but I'm more attracted to point guards. So where was the privilege when Sue Bird played? White, superstar in the W, made an impact, broke all kinds of records. Diana Taurasi, white, superstar in the WNBA, made an impact. Tisha Pinachero, white, made an impact. No, what it is that Caitlin Clark just has that it factor. And sometimes that's what it takes to come into the league with that it factor and make people recognize, wow, this girl's got something. And what that is that ability to shoot the long ball at a highly efficient level, to pass the ball at a highly efficient level, to take a team like Iowa, which you wouldn't have recognized Iowa on the map 10 years ago, put that state, that college on the map. I used to like the Iowa football team because they were black and gold, like my Steelers. But no one paid attention to Iowa women's basketball until Caitlin Clark. And then she started getting national attention. She was on all the major networks, ESPN, CBS, wherever you could find women's basketball. We were talking about Caitlin Clark. It was the it factor. Was there black tennis players before Venus and Serena Williams? Yes, there was. But they had that it factor. Tiger Woods, there was black golfers before Tiger Woods. But he had an it factor. There were black men basketball players before Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. But they had the it factor. You have to have something that draws people in, that makes a difference. And it has nothing to do with whether a person is black or white or has privilege. Dennis Rodman, Isaiah Thomas tried to do that to Larry Bird, and it backfired. It didn't work. They tried to say he had white privilege. Larry Bird was just a straight up killer. He was cold. One of the best basketball players to ever touch a ball. They called him Larry Legend. Larry Bird was far better than Jerry West. Jerry West is the logo, but Larry Bird is Larry Legend. It has nothing to do with color. We got to stop with this colorism, this color thing, this worship of black and white. And it's really, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired about it. I'm tired of talking about it. And my friend, my girl, Caitlin Clark, you just made it worse because now by you saying that you have privilege, when actually what you have is great basketball skills and you have that it factor, by saying I am privileged and I owe something to the black players, now all these black people are going to come out and they're going to say, that's big of you and thank you. And you're going to gain a whole new set of fans, but you may even lose a greater, target market that you already had. You should have just left it alone. You should have just left it alone. You're going to gain some new fans. And you're only going to gain new fans because you pander to them. They aren't real fans. And a lot of them probably don't even watch the league. They aren't the ones buying tickets to your games in Indiana. They aren't the ones boosting you up on social media and TikTok. They aren't the ones giving you headlines. They're just a group of people who are happy that you said, I have privilege. If you didn't like what Megyn Kelly said, you should have ignored it. And it's just like you should have ignored all the noise. You should have ignored all the noise. That's all I got to say about that. But what I want to say about what that made me think about is the fact that I love basketball. It's my favorite professional sport. You wouldn't know that. I love football. Something about basketball that I love, and I love it at every level. Pee Wee, I coached CYO basketball. I even love it at the high school level. I would go to my local high school games. I love it at the college level, and I love the NBA. And by learning to love the WNBA this year, it even added to that. But what the hell is going on with the NBA? What the hell is going on with the NBA? I have not, and some people will say, well, that's because you're a Sixers fan and they suck. That's part of it. They do suck and they should not. They spend all this money on Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid and Paul George. And I don't know what the hell's going on with that team. And Joel Embiid is in battle because he want to play 40 games a year. I don't know what's going on. But my point is the league as a whole, I've been trying to watch it. And it's boring. And I think it might be boring to me because we just came off this high level of WNBA basketball, watching Caitlin Clark, watching all the drama, watching nails in people's faces, watching the back and forth drama that had nothing to do with basketball. But the WNBA stayed in the news for 4 months. And it was like, NBA, dun, 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 and no one gave a shit. I don't even know who's on the rosters. And then I watch it. I watched the game the other day. I think it was the Milwaukee Bucks and the Celtics. Between the two teams, they must have chucked up 65 three-point attempts. It's not basketball. We loved Air Jordan because he was Air Jordan. He skied to the hoop. We loved Allen Iverson because he was only 6 feet, maybe 5'11", and he crawled through big men like they were trees to make layups and finger rolls. We liked Stephon Marbury. When the game was in the paint, we loved it. And if they chucked up 11 or 12 three-pointers a game, that was just a strategy. We didn't have the big men out at the line shooting threes. We had skilled point guards, skilled point forwards and power forwards. And we just, the game was, it was an outside, inside game. Like if I got the three, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'm passing it inside or I'm driving to the hoop. And the NBA ratings have sunk. And then when you watch Inside the NBA, Shaq and Charles, that's all they do is talk about how bad the game is. The ratings are horrible. We don't even have an NBA All-Star game worth watching anymore. That debacle from last year, just what is going on with the NBA? No one is talking about it. I'm on TikTok every day. There's only a few NBA content creators, but there's a ton of WNBA content creators. And I'd say in 2 seasons, we'll be talking more about the W than we are the NBA. You've got to do something, Commissioner Silver. I don't know if you changed the rules, coaches. I don't know if you guys need to start teaching like the game again, the analytics. But just because the analytics told you by shooting threes give you a much better chance to win than shooting twos, you need to forget all that. Scrap that because you're not entertaining us. We are not entertained. I'd rather watch the W where they play below the rim and they play with strategy. They shoot layups, they shoot finger rolls, they pound the paint. They play like they did in the 80s and the 90s. Today's NBA, horrible. I have not watched a whole game yet, and I'm a street, and I go, is it me? Am I really falling to the whole, I'm not a basketball fan, I'm a Sixers fan? I thought it was me. And then I start watching Jason Whitlock and other people that's talking about this product. And they say, no, Chris, it's not you. This product sucks. It sucks. Y'all need to do something. Last person I want to talk about before I get out of here is Leanna Lene. Leanna Lene did a 8 to 10 minute YouTube video, social media, whatever she did, talking about her relationship. And I've talked about this for 15 seconds, and most of you are going, who's Leanna Lene? Exactly. Leanna Lene is Travis Hunter's girlfriend. Yeah. Leanna Lene is riding on the coattails of her Heisman Trophy winning boyfriend to become famous. I give that relationship, I don't know, what's the over and under? 5 years? The guy's not even allowed to look at a girl. She's all on social media talking about the days of old when he cheated on her or some girl was in his phone. I don't know. I can't even watch her because I'm saying she did not win a Heisman. I haven't seen her run 1 yard on Colorado Buffalo's field. I haven't seen her in anybody's end zone. But every time I see her, she's causing drama, whether it's at a signing, whether it's in the stands. Travis celebrated a touchdown in front of the cheerleaders, and she was like, oh, hell no. She's a problem. She's a problem. And when I think about other professional star wives, I think about you never see Mrs. James talking. You never see Beyonce talking. Jay-Z does most of the talking, unless Beyonce's got a platform that she's being paid a couple $1 million for. You know, and listen, this is not misogynistic. I'm not being, a chauvinist. I'm just saying the ladies of stars usually play the back, right? And not only that, we knew Beyonce way before her and Jay-Z when it was an item. So she can talk all she wants. I'm not saying she needs to be quiet. I'm just saying she's not all up on social media talking about how bad the world is talking about her. And trust me, every day, any minute of the day, you can find someone saying something bad about Beyonce. You can find someone saying something bad about Jay-Z, and you don't see Beyonce saying anything about it because she's a billionaire. Leanna Lene, that's your name, right? If you want to be a billionaire, you don't need to be talking to the world. Let Travis Hunter do his thing on the football field. Make those millions, and you look pretty on his arm. And if you're going to go do something on the side, like Brittany Mahomes, get into politics maybe, buy a soccer team, invest some money in a Major League Baseball team, you want to do all that, make a name for yourself, you can talk all you want. But if you're just the girlfriend, you're going to soon be just the baby's mama. You're going to soon be just the baby's mama. Because if you got mad because he was celebrating a touchdown in front of a bunch of cheerleaders, ma'am, wait till he's on the NFL team and he's traveling all around the country, going from stadium to stadium, and he's going to start saying, no, you hang back. You take care of our kids. I'm going on the road. I'm going to Detroit, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Philly, Baltimore, Los Angeles, Miami. Shit. NBA players can't even stay in Miami for one night, let alone when your team go in there from Thursday to Sunday and you can't get Travis on the phone or he don't respond to your text messages fast enough. You're going to have some problems. You're going to have Giselle Bundchen problems. But I know you don't care because you know at that point you're going to get half that check. But you'll be lucky if he marries you. He may not even marry you, but I know he will. He will because he got a safe face. He has to save face because he's online being 20 or whatever his age is, defending you instead of telling you to pipe down. Lord, that's all I got. I just had to get those things off my chest because I was driving around in my whip. And I was thinking, I was like, man, I got to get these things off my chest today before I forget about them. But this is just the week that was. Y'all take care. Peace.